I get eager staring at the price tag on another golf gadget and wondering if it'll actually move the needle on your game, or if it's just another thing to collect dust on the shelf. I was in the same spot last month, trying to decide whether to splurge on a launch monitor that promises tour-trusted accuracy without needing a whole indoor simulator setup. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon, and I'm going to walk you through why the Bushnell Golf Launch Pro Circle B Edition might be the middle ground you've been looking for, and where it could fall short. First off, let's talk about the core promise, a camera-based launch monitor that works both inside and outside. Most launch monitors on the market either need a dedicated mat and a darkened room, or they're strapped to a pricey simulator rig. The Launch Pro sidesteps that by using high-speed optics to track the ball right from the moment it leaves the club face. In practice, that means you can set it up on a balcony, in your garage, or even on the driving range, and it will still spit out swing speed, launch angle, spin rate, and even club head data. For anyone who doesn't have the budget or space for a full-blown indoor studio, that flexibility is a real win. I spent a weekend testing it the way a typical golfer would. I set it up in my garage, pointed it at a net, and hit a few irons and a driver. The unit powered on straight out of the box, synced with my phone, and started displaying data in seconds. The ready out-of-the-box claim holds up no firmware juggling or external sensors to wrestle with. The app interface is clean enough that I could see the ball flight stats without digging through endless menus. That's a big plus for people who want data fast and don't want to become tech-savvy just to track a swing. Now, the real question, does it give you data you can actually trust? The Tour Trusted Accuracy tagline is bold, and while I can't claim the numbers are on par with high-end, multi-camera systems that cost several $1,000s, they're solid enough for everyday improvement. When I compared the launch speed numbers from the Launch Pro to my older launch monitor, which I've used for years, the variance was within 23% on most shots. That's the kind of consistency that lets you see patterns like a slight drop in driver speed after a long practice session without obsessing over millimeter-level precision. One feature that sets this model apart is the Elian-Keenabold club recommendations. The app asks you what clubs you own, then cross-references the data you're generating to suggest which shafts or lofts might suit you better. It's not a substitute for a professional fitting, but it's a handy shortcut if you're a DIY-type golfer who's comfortable tweaking equipment on your own. For a beginner or intermediate player who's not ready to step into a fitting center, those suggestions can point you toward a more effective driver or a higher lofted iron without a lot of guesswork. Let's get honest about the downsides. The first thing I noticed was the reliance on lighting. While the camera can handle both indoor and outdoor conditions, it does struggle a bit in very bright sunlight or in a dimly lit garage with uneven lighting. I found that positioning the unit slightly to the side of a bright window, or using a modest floodlight in the garage, cleared up most of the hiccups. If you plan to use it on a sunny range all day, you might have to occasionally adjust its angle, which can be a nuisance if you're looking for a set-it-and-forget-it experience. Another limitation is the depth of data. You get the essential ball flight numbers and club speed, but you won't see advanced metrics like club path, face angle, or the full-shot dispersion map that premium launch monitors offer. For a golfer who's already deep into data analysis and wants to fine-tune every nuance, the Launch Pro might feel a bit light. It shines more as a feedback tool for confirming that a swing change is having the intended effect, rather than as a diagnostic microscope. Battery life is decent but worth noting. The unit runs on a rechargeable pack that lasts about 8 hours of continuous use, which is fine for a typical practice session. However, if you're planning a full-day outing with multiple rounds of practice, you'll need to keep a charger or spare pack handy. It's not a deal-breaker, just a logistical detail that some users forget until they're mid-session. Who should actually buy this thing? If you're an intermediate golfer who practices a few times a week, wants to see measurable improvement, and doesn't want to invest in a full simulator, the Launch Pro is a sweet spot. It gives you enough data to know whether you're gaining club head speed, reducing spin, or consistently hitting a target launch angle. The portability means you can take it to the office parking